Welcome to the Locked In Baseball podcast. I'm William Locke. He is Luis Barranco. It is Thursday, November 20th. We've had a lot of action, lots of action across Major League Baseball. Luis, how's it going?
I mean, talk about the news, my God. We've had a lot of news. Happy Thursday, November 20th. We are 1 week away from Turkey Day. You excited for the William family Turkey Day? What's the big plans for Turkey Day for you guys?
No plans. Watch football all day. Enjoy the dinner, of course. We usually eat at like 4 or 5. Mom always does a great job with the cooking. So I love Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is maybe the best holiday of the year because you don't have the stress of having to get people presents. It's really just about family. So if you like your family, like I do, it's enjoyable. And you don't have to... it's not commercialized like other holidays. Halloween, Halloween's not really a holiday, but it's super commercialized. Christmas, super commercialized. Even Easter, 4th of July, all those are pretty commercialized. But Thanksgiving is always overlooked because everyone's already getting ready for Christmas. But I enjoy Thanksgiving. It's really just about family and watching football.
What's on the menu? What's your favorite dish on the menu at the William household?
We were talking about this at work yesterday. I like the turkey the best. People don't like the turkey, but I think it's because people don't have good turkey. I'm lucky enough to have good turkey with the cranberry sauce on top. Mashed potatoes, always good. It's a carbo load day. Mashed potatoes, apple pie, bread, Yorkshire pudding. I think we have on Christmas, not Thanksgiving. Maybe Thanksgiving too. I don't like the stuff. My mom always makes it with nuts, and I'm allergic, so I can't eat that. But it's a good day.
It's a good day. So who makes the turkey? Is it your dad or your mom that makes the turkey?
My mom does everything. We set the table and
just do
the candles. Yeah. We don't do it.
If your dad's making the turkey, I think that turkey would be elite.
It's elite already, but yeah, my dad is known as the grill master. We do know this.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's different with my mom and my family. We don't celebrate. It's not something that we celebrate in Latin America. It's kind of like Americanized. So it's kind of like me and my mom cook whatever. So when we kind of just do a Mexican dish, kind of non-Thanksgiving because it's just 2 people. So a turkey's big for us. So last year we made, I don't know if you've had it, but you've had stuffed peppers, not like bell peppers, like stuffed peppers. It becomes kind of a whole day thing because what we do is we get the pepper. It's a poblano pepper. We put it on top of the gas stove. We roast the skin. I roast it. My mom peels it. Then we cut them open, and then we fill them with chicken and cheese, and we fill them with vegetables. Sometimes, depending on what we want them filled with. Pause. But
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and then we put a little rice on the side. Another year we did tamales. Making tamales and tortillas is like a whole day thing. It's like a very messy. Like you think making pizza or making cookies or making like something like a flour is bro, just make a freaking tamal. Like that is a whole day experience. So yeah. So we take the time to do that. I'm usually watching football, keeping up with the fantasy football. So maybe a little bit of baseball. Who knows? We could have a signing here coming up. The MLB free agency is in full swing, I would like to say, or I don't want to say full swing, but I kind of think we're on like half swing, sort of.
Yeah, it's slowly going. It's like we're in the runway at an airport and we're taxiing to take off.
The boys just arrived at the pregame. No drinks have been drank. They just got there. They're all doing their pleasantries before the first drinks come down. That's how I'd like to feel about it.
Something like that. Yeah. The Braves, we can get to that. The Braves have been super active. I think the Braves woke up yesterday and they're like, all right, we got to do something today. They're like, we haven't really done much. It's like you're at work and you're like, man, it's been really quiet lately. I'm going to really go above and beyond today. I feel like that's the Braves. Alex Anthopoulos is like, I got to get stuff done today. And 2 big moves.
That was me a couple of days ago. I was like, you know what? Next week's Thanksgiving, I'm gonna get all my work done today and do all my shopping now. Look, Braves are doing their shopping early, which I think is kind of a great thing when you look at the moves that we talk about. Let's get going and talk about the moves that they made. They made 2 really big moves last night. They re-signed Raisel Iglesias to a 1-year, $16 million contract. Raisel Iglesias was linked with the LA Dodgers prior to this deal. He's been 4th in MLB saves. since the Braves acquired him at the 2022 MLB trade deadline. Gave up 5 homers in April and 7 before the end of May. He had a 5.91 ERA through the first 2 months, but then he was elite through June onward, which, I mean, that kind of was the deal with the Braves. The Braves had a really rough going at the start of the season. 46 innings pitch of 1.96 ERA ball, striking out 29.3% of opponents over the season's last 4 months with 1 homer allowed, despite a 54.5 fly ball rate. I mean, this is a shrewd move, I'd like to say, from the Braves. Think about it. On the last pod, as we talked about, the reliever market's going to get going here real soon. And I kind of think this is one of the first dominoes. I don't know if it's that big domino that falls, but 1 year, $16 million, if you're a guy like Devin Williams or you're a guy like Ryan Helsley who struggled down the stretch with the Mets, I kind of think you kind of like this deal because that means you're going to get paid at least $16 million or right around that range for a 1 year prove-it deal for guys like Williams and Helsley. And for a guy like Edwin Diaz, who I think we both think is far superior than Raisel Iglesias, if he's getting paid 16 and Josh Hader's at that like 19-20 range, I think I'm going to get paid if I'm Edwin.
Yeah, Edwin will definitely be the highest paid reliever this winter. And we talked about it last episode. The reliever market is interesting. You never really know what you're going to get from these guys year to year. Iglesias, I know Braves fans have had their points of frustration with him, but he was very strong the last 4 months of the season last year. And you look at the metrics on his Savant page, all pretty impressive. Talk about the fly ball rate, which is super high and only allowing what was 1 home run from June onward. That's probably more of an anomaly. And the first couple months of his season are probably more of an anomaly. So his true production probably lies somewhere in the middle. And I think that's what the Braves are hoping they get next year. But all in all, he's been a very reliable reliever. He is a little bit older now. I think he's 35 right now, turns 36 next season. No offense to him. He looks like he's 50 years old. Watching him play, looking at his headshot, he looks pretty old.
No, we're not going to go there. Like let's leave it there.
I think that's the stress of being a closer wears on you.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at the stress of being a closer. Like that's the only thing we need to say. But in regards to it, I mean, look, William, we got to talk about how the Braves are making these moves now, getting ahead of the market. And like I said, I think the reliever market's going to be pretty nutty. And I think some type of continuity helps in this case where the pitching, there's a new manager there in Atlanta, but I kind of feel like the front office, the pitching lab and development team there. That kind of helps. You're not moving to a whole new team. So I think that's a plus.
Yeah, I think that's why part of the reason he stayed despite having offers from the Dodgers for similar money, and they also said the Blue Jays offered him a similar contract. I think that was kind of the thought process from Iglesias. He's had success in Atlanta, and moving to LA. I mean, LA does a great job with their staff, their bullpen guys. I know the bullpen wasn't a strength for them last year, and Tanner Scott struggled, but guys like Alex Vesia speak very highly of their bullpen staff. And then Toronto, obviously pretty strong bullpen in the playoffs last year. And those are the two teams that were in the World Series. So it's an interesting move on his side. I think he thinks that Atlanta can still contend next season, which I think we both think that they'll be in contention next year. They're clearly going all in. And we can talk about the trade they made last night as well. Pretty interesting trade.
Before you get to the trade, I think you're really undervaluing the money of this deal. 1 year, $16 million. That's a hefty contract. And just think about it in terms of the reliever market. Like if you're Devin Williams, I think you're right around there or a little bit more.
I think Devin will get multiple years.
You think?
I think he'll get 2 or 3. Yeah.
But just look at the money. 16. If Raisel getting 16, you can safely bet that he can get 17 or 18.
Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Williams will get more. And, Iglesias has been a reliable closer despite the ups and the downs. He's been a good closer, probably a good B tier closer. He's not on the elite tier. He's not A tier, S tier, whatever they call it these days, but he's a B tier reliever. I think that's kind of just the going price for these top tier guys in Major League Baseball. You're going to have to pay to get good relievers. It's one of the most closer is one of the most important positions in the sport, and so many teams don't have a good closer. So now the Braves, I mean, maybe they decide to go and get more. Who knows what they're going to be up to the rest of this offseason, but if he's going to be their closer, I think it's someone you can rely on, and 16 is probably the going price, I think.
What would you give Devin? Because I'm looking at it market wise. I'm looking at the market. Like that's the thing.
2 years 55, 2 years 54. I think he's going to get
54. The 54. That's 24 million. That's more.
Sorry,
than
not 54.
Whoa.
I was thinking 15 times 30. 2 years 30. No, sorry, 2 years maybe 40. 2 years 38.
That puts him at hater money at
2 years 38.
38 puts him at 19.
I think Devin Williams is going to get paid. All the rumblings that I've seen in reading the tea leaves, reading reports, is that people see the underlying metrics that are still strong. They see a guy that was elite, one of the best closers or relievers when he was in Milwaukee, one of the best relievers in the league. And yeah, he struggled a little bit in New York, but he did turn it on down the stretch, and teams think they'll be able to tap into that. And I think we talked about him as an underrated guy on the market this offseason. I think it's become to the point where people are just talking him up so much that he's going to go for a good amount. I think he'll go for more than Iglesias, less than Diaz. But yeah, 2 years, I don't know, just under 40. So it's somewhere like 18 a year. I think something like that, that's a lot, but I think that's what he's going to get.
Would you rather have Iglesias or Devin Williams?
Depends on what position in the bullpen. Is Williams going to be a setup guy or a closer?
We're talking closer.
Push, maybe Williams by a hair. I like Williams more in the setup role. I think that's where he's comfortable. We saw him thrive in New York at the end of the year and Milwaukee at the end of the year. So you don't pay a setup guy that much, but closer, maybe Iglesias. I just think he's more comfortable in that role.
So you think they're on the same tier level as you're putting at it?
Yeah, I think they're in it. Yeah.
How about Helsley or Iglesias?
Iglesias over Helsley. Although Helsley was really good in St. Louis, I still think he's going to go for a lot. And what happened with Helsley in New York probably won't really affect his market that much.
Suarez and Iglesias. Or
Suarez. Suarez, but
the thing is they're both
older.
Well, Robert Suarez is 35.
Mm-hmm.
35, and Iglesias is 36. So, and then the only difference between Iglesias and Suarez in WAR is 0.2 points, in which Robert Suarez has a 2.8 WAR, to 2.6 to Raisel Iglesias.
Yep. So, what about now? Yeah, now do you want to get to the trade that they made yesterday?
I mean, yeah, we can talk about the other trade. I mean, Atlanta's being quite interesting. I understand why you want to get ahead of the curve because, my big belief during free agency is whenever you get into free agency, into the open market, you're always going to have to spend a little bit more. You're always going to have to overpay. Free agency is not the place to be frugal. It is not the place to be paying at market. You're naturally in competition with other teams. You're naturally going to have to pay a little bit more. I like to think about it. You're always going to have to pay at least 10 to 15% extra on top of sticker price in free agency at the start. Like more so for the big guys. Mm-hmm. You're never going to go into free agency and be able to get a guy like a Kyle Tucker or, like you said, a Raisel Iglesias. Well, not Raisel Iglesias, but like those guys at sticker, at like the MSRP. You're going to have to pay a little bit more. And so I found it quite interesting that, they traded Nick Allen for Mauricio Dubón, in which Dubón was acquired. He was on the Astros, and Dubón has 1.7 WAR, older player. He is 30. Nick Allen is 26. Last season, Dubón played 133 games. He hit 241, batting average 289, OBP, slugging was 355, OPS 644. In regards to Nick Allen, he was a 221 defender, 287, 284.
Wait, 221 defender? 221 average? He can't hit. That's the thing with Nick Allen. He can't hit.
Yeah, he can't hit. Yeah, he can't hit. I mean, we saw it live. Slug, 251 slug, and then 535 OPS. Dubón does have a gold glove in his book, and Allen is also a good defender. But last year, when you look at their defensive WAR, Nick Allen was a better defensive WAR by 0.3, which isn't that great. I mean, they really just got a better hitter, and Dubon is just a more versatile piece. I don't think he's the answer at shortstop. I'm quite curious to see as what's next. Dubon is a solid MLB player. I don't say he's bad. I think he's one of those guys that I think every championship team needs to have. Dubon is multi-positional. As we talk about, you have to have those chess pieces to move around for October and in the middle of the season when you get injuries. But still, it doesn't solve the shortstop role. When you see at the Braves lineup this season, it was a general consensus that it was a poor season from all. You go into 2026 looking at, okay, who are your solid contributors? Right now, you only really see it's only Ronald Acuna and Matt Olson. Aside from that, will Drake Baldwin be hitting the way he hit for his rookie year? Ozzy Albies, we haven't seen him be a solid MLB hitter in quite a minute. Austin Riley's battle back from injury. We're big, as you guys know. Austin Riley is a big fan of Williams, a big fan of Austin Riley, and he did have a tough season. Outfield, Michael Harris. He went nuclear second half, but can he keep it up for a full 162? The hole still exists out there that is left field in Atlanta still. So it's quite interesting to see what they do at shortstop. I mean, you let Ha-Seong Kim walk in, right? For now, you talk about being up there in payroll. I don't think this is the solution. I think they have another move up their sleeve.
It's not the solution at short. I think getting Dubon, though, is a great move because he is a super utility guy. He played every single position except catcher last year. He won the Gold Glove for utility, the utility Gold Glove in the American League last year. I thought that was deserved. He's the kind of guy you want to have on your team if you're trying to win a championship. He's perfect for obviously regular season, but also the playoffs when you need to move guys around. I think it makes a lot of sense getting him. It is a bit of a cost-cutting move for Houston, because Nick Allen's going to make like $1 million in arbitration next year. Dubon's going to make about $5 million. So Houston sheds some salary. Atlanta takes on a little bit of salary. Allen's probably not going to play much in Houston. He's probably going to be a bench piece because they got Jeremy Pena there, but he is truly an elite defender, Gold Glove finalist at shortstop last year in the National League. So it's a kind of a defensive swap, a little bit of a cost-cutting move for Houston. I think Dubon will serve as cover for a lot of players on this Atlanta roster next year. Obviously, Ozzy Albies at second base. If Albies starts to struggle, you can put Dubon at second. If Riley gets hurt again, you can put him at third. At short, he could be cover there. I think they'll probably still go out and try to re-sign Kim. I still think they'll be active in what is a thin shortstop market. Dubon is a move that makes sense. And then he can play all three outfield positions too. So if anyone gets banged up out there, he can provide cover. So I think it's a perfect, just true utility guy move for Atlanta. He's not going to be like a everyday starter at one position. I think he's gonna get moved around. They do have Profar out and left. Let's see if he bounces back after a weird season for him last year.
After the roids.
After getting popped. But I don't know. I like this move for Atlanta. They're trying to improve their roster actively. 2 moves yesterday, not blockbusters, but 2 moves that make sense for their roster construction next year. And if you look at their salary now, Fangraphs has them at $221 million in payroll next year, which is just under about $23 million under the first luxury tax threshold of $244. If I'm a Braves fan, obviously you hope you exceed that. I think the Braves are gonna exceed that. I think they're gonna make a couple other moves this winter, and this is just the beginning for them. So we've said that we've heard that they're gonna spend this offseason. They are.
It's a slam dunk move. I mean, you get he was a Gold Glover again this year. I mean, he won the Gold Glove in 2023 and 2025. Last year he had an injury in his thumb and missed October last year and had surgery. But I mean, it's a slam dunk move. You improve defense. Again, we talk about defensive versatility as a big thing that gets overlooked at by casual baseball heads and casual television casts,
He can't hit again, though. I mean, if you look at his Savant page, it's not pretty. Nick Allen can't hit either. So.
They need hitters. They need if I'm them, I'm throwing. I mean, man, that's crazy. Because I was gonna say you throw the Dansby number to Bo. You throw the Dansby number to Bo, which Dansby signed was it? You can prove he's 7x180 or 7x200.
It was. I don't think it was 200. Dubon, one thing I do like about his bat profile, though, is he doesn't strike out a lot. 10% strikeout rate was in the 97th percentile. So he's kind of one of those classic, can't really hit, but doesn't strike out and plays really good defense type players. And he doesn't swing and miss too, low whiff percentage.
He's in the now I was gonna say the wrong player, but he's in the Jose Caballero class of players type vibes, like not like bat profile, but just like multi-positional like utility guys.
Yeah, he's definitely not as good of a base runner as Caballero, and he plays better defense. But I get your point. And looking at the Dansby deal, it was 7 years, $177 million. Which he's still got 40 more years on that contract.
Now, here's my question. Do you throw that to Bo?
If 7 years, 177?
You throw 7 years by 180 or 7 years by 200 because you got to count a little bit of inflation, the market. Mm-hmm. Bo's a better player than Dansby. And then you move him over to the second when Ozzy eventually, if you move on from Albies.
So you'd have to play Bo at short for a little bit, which I don't know how I feel about that.
For 1 or 2 years, and that's it?
I think you can get by with playing him at short a little bit with Dubon being such a good glove. Riley's a solid glove. Olsen's a solid glove. It's not a weak infield defense, even with him at shortstop. Albies is whatever.
I'm just saying Albies would be in at second, obviously.
And he's only got 1 more year left.
That's what I'm saying. You would do that, yeah.
But do you want to pay him shortstop money when you eventually move him to second base? I think that's what's going to happen with him regardless. He's going to get shortstop money.
There's somebody saying that he's going to play third. Some teams are like, oh, let's move him to third. And I'm like,
I think if he goes back to Toronto, he'll definitely be second base next year with Jimenez at short. We saw it in the World Series, and I thought it was a great fit.
Jimenez I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't know. But if I'm Atlanta, I throw it. Just throw 7 by 180. Let's do it. 7 by 200, 7 by 190. That should be the price.
They've said they're prioritizing shortstop and starting pitching this winter, and then they kind of surprised us and went out and re-signed the closer. I think the next move for them is probably a starting pitcher. It's not going to be a top-tier guy. Maybe it's Ranger Suarez. Maybe it's not going to be like Cease or Framber, I don't think. We'll see.
Why not Cease?
I just think that the sticker price might be a little bit too much for him. I think teams are going to think they can fix Cease's walk rate and stuff. And he'll go for more than expected, or maybe a little bit more than expected. They'll sign some type of starter, and if they don't get Bo, it'll probably be Kim coming back on some type of deal. Again, shortstop's pretty thin this winter, and it's a thin position in general. There's only a handful of elite shortstops in this league, so
there's a lot of name shortstops. That's the problem. There's a lot of guys with names that, like, when you look deep dive and look under the hood, they're not that good. Like, in comparison.
Who are you thinking of?
Carlos Correa, Anthony Volpe, Javi Baez.
You don't have to look under the hood for Volpe.
Javi Baez.
I think you're right on Correa. Correa is a name at this point, respectfully.
They're names, and like who else? Those are just guys like coming like that off the top of my head. There's better guys. Like, people won't put Perdomo in that class if they don't know ball.
He's elite.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. They won't put Perdomo in that class if they don't know ball. For example, Adames gets puts in that class, and Adames is all right. Like,
Adames, rough first season, and
he's cool. Like, he's cool. It's just like I'm not paying like top dollar as he's getting paid. Like, he's cool.
He was good defensively, but man, he didn't hit last year.
But yeah, I mean, look, Trevor Story, you can put him in that class as well.
Good bounce back year.
Good bounce back, but he's not in that class. Respectfully.
Lindor's career numbers are getting pretty impressive.
I know, yeah, we get it. We don't. That's like, it seems like in every other podcast discourse with us, like with Francisco Lindor, that where it's just like you always make the comment, it's like, oh yeah, his numbers are getting really nice, and I'm like, yeah, I understand.
There's a lot of Jeter comps out there.
A lot of Jeter comps, yeah, but has he won yet? No. So let's relax a bit. Let's relax on the Jeter comps.
Jeter might be the most overhated player of all time. People act like Derek Jeter was Anthony Volpe defensively. Oh, I guess Volpe won a Gold Glove. People act like Jeter was Bo Bichette, first name that came to mind defensively. Like, Jeter was a good defender. He won multiple Gold Gloves. He was not terrible like people are making him out to be, but whatever.
Respectfully. Let me ask you this. This is something I was just thinking about right now with Atlanta, because we're talking about Atlanta. What is like when you look at the starting pitching class? You talked about Framber. We talked about Cease, Suarez. There's Michael King. There's Zach Gallen. What is it? I'm trying to think of what would like be the profile that fits Atlanta, fitting that park and what that pitching staff goes for. When you look at that pitching staff, you have Strider and Sale, which are high strikeout guys, which tends to likely like pushes me that they would go for a Cease.
Cease, yeah. You think they want?
I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I'm trying to think like off the top of my head with not looking in the metrics. And like, I've watched games at Truist on TV, but I haven't thought about it. Is Truist a home run park? I kind of think it's a kind of neutral park.
It feels like a neutral park. And I'm going to look up MLB park factor, see where it ranks out. I mean, the thing with Atlanta is, and you can make an argument that, you know, infield defense is the most important thing when thinking about what kind of pitcher you want to acquire, because if you go out and get a Framber, a guy that's a super high ground ball rate, you want a really good infield defense. And the thing with Atlanta is their infield defense is kind of incomplete at this point because they don't have the most important position on the field and shortstop side. If you have an elite defensive shortstop, you feel good about getting a ground ball guy, especially if you pair him with a guy like Austin Riley, who's a good defender as well. And Ozzie Albies is -4 outs above average last year, and Olson's a solid glove. So
Olson's more than a solid glove. Let's chill on that one.
So I don't know. Maybe like they go out and sign the shortstop first. Yeah, Olson was 9 outs above average last year. That's really good.
Yeah, he's very, very good.
Looking at park factor,
probably ranks like 13th or 17th, around that range.
They got him 9th. That's rolling per year average. If you look at just last year, they finished. Where are they? Atlanta Braves, 11th. So yeah, it's kind of just maybe a tick hitter friendly, but still kind of not like a haven for hitters.
I would just say this. If you're Atlanta, okay, you're making these moves, go try on the shortstop, but think about it in the future. Chris Sale's going to probably retire here in the next 2 to 3 seasons. The contract's coming off the books next year. Spencer Strider, you don't know what he's going to look like next year. You know he struggled coming back from UCL. We might as well go spend and pony up the money and get Dylan Cease.
Do it. I mean, yeah, Sale comes off the books after next season.
The only problem is Cease is a Boris guy. So it's going to be, and Passan did make a note of that, the article, which we'll talk about now, leading into it, that out of the 5 pitching guys, 4 of them are Boris guys. The 4.
Yeah, that's going to make for a fun offseason.
Oh, it's going to be Christmas time, and we're going to be, where are these guys going to go? It's another week and another podcast without knowing where Dylan Cease and the squad are pitching next season.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, Passan dropped that mega article, I think it was Tuesday morning, like right after we recorded, and kind of just laid out the market, some of the intel that he was hearing. I think the biggest thing that stood out to me is that Pittsburgh is going to be active this offseason. They're going to be spending, and apparently they just missed out on Josh Naylor. They offered him like $70-something million when he went for 90. So that was interesting.
Are you surprised by that? Are you surprised by the whole Pittsburgh thing? Like, let's just go talk about the article. Are you surprised by the Pittsburgh thing?
I'm not surprised, honestly.
I'm not either.
Because, and we've talked about this before, this was the one offseason to prove if they were going to be in and like actually trying to build something around Paul Skeens. Because if they didn't do it this winter, they were never going to do it. And if they were never going to do it, and they've been a team that's been so dead set on saying they're not trading Paul Skeens. So it's like, okay, naturally the next step then would be to try to improve the team around him. And that requires spending some type of real American currency, something they never do. So I'm actually not like stunned that they're actually going to try to spend this winter. Let's see who they actually go out and get. Because again, you have to think about it. It's a two-sided thing here. It's not just, okay, Pittsburgh offers money, player automatically accepts. They have to convince the player that they're trying to build something there. And the player has to agree to the contract too. If you're a guy like Josh Naylor, who was, outs away from a World Series last October, why would you want to get away from that and go to Pittsburgh, a team that hasn't won anything in forever? It's a two-way street. So they're going to have to maybe overpay a little bit to get some of these guys. Apparently they're in on Kyle Schwarber. Good luck prying them away from the Phillies. They're going to have to offer way more than Philly is.
Just good luck in general, because I mean, everybody and their sister and brother and aunt and auntie and uncle are in for Kyle Schwarber. Like you're gonna, I've said Boston's in there. Can you imagine him in Boston, Philadelphia, the big teams, Cincinnati? I mean, Kyle Schwarber, and just screams Pittsburgh Pirate. But like, if you're Kyle Schwarber and you're not going to a Cincinnati, or not a Cincinnati, if you're not going to a Philadelphia or a Boston, and you're deciding between a Cincinnati and a Pittsburgh, I kind of think you would go to Cincinnati. In the sense, Cincinnati is more in position to compete and make money, and then he is a Cincinnati native. He's from Middleton, Ohio. So
everyone's talking up the Reds thing. I just don't know why you would go there when you were just in Philly.
Why? The Reds aren't that far off.
It's a hitter-friendly ballpark, but I don't know. He's played his best baseball in Philadelphia. I think he's going back. If I'm a free agent, what's the big selling point with Cincinnati? Yeah, they got a lot of pitching, but what's in that lineup besides Ellie? And Ellie you
got Ellie, Spencer Steer. You got a bunch of young prospects coming up. There's Sal Stewart is a promising third baseman.
Sal Stewart,
yeah. You got. There's a lot to like about Cincinnati, and then you got Terry Francona, a good manager. Tyler Stevenson is a average to above average MLB catcher. Like, there's things to like about that team. And I would like to say, you know what? If I'm Reds ownership, just bring back the band. Go call up Philadelphia and take up Nick Castellanos after you sign Kyle Schwarber, and get Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber in the middle of the lineup. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Schwarber would be a great signing for the Reds. I just don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see. We shall see.
Other than that, I mean, the market is kind of crazy from the Passan article. I mean, we saw that the Blue Jays were like, how are the Blue Jays going to have enough money to pay Bo Bichette, Kyle Tucker, a closer, and a starting pitcher? Like, it's like they're like, how? Like, they're going to spend $150 million on 4 positions.
The Blue Jays got that taste last year, and they're like, oh, this is what it feels like to win. This is what it's like to get a surplus of cash in our bank accounts from all of the postseason games that we had at Rogers Center. Oh, okay. Like, oh, let's do this again. And yeah, I don't know how they would get Bichette, Tucker, a closer. It's a lot of money. They already were 5th in payroll last year. Let's see.
And a starter.
Yeah, and I think it's an attractive place to play from a free agent destination, in my opinion, given what they did last year. You're really big on the Canada thing. And trying to have him to sell Canada. Does Tucker strike you as a guy that would want to go to Canada?
I just think Tucker just strikes me as a guy that wouldn't want the spotlight. And I think he can just hide. No, I don't want to say hide's the right word, but I just think he's a guy that can just step behind Vlad and Bichette if Bichette re-ups, and he can just like not be that guy. Like in Houston, he can be a good supporting actor. He's not a main actor. And that's what I think. That's the role that kind of fits him well. And I think he was the main actor in Chicago, and look how that worked out.
Yep. All of the teams that he's being rumored with, he would be the second guy. And I think Tucker's the type of guy that if Tampa actually had money and was willing to spend, he'd be perfectly content with going home and playing in Tampa. And maybe not being on the best teams ever, but just kind of not being in the spotlight. Yes, he would probably be the best player on that team. Not probably, he would be, but no one really there's no spotlight in Tampa.
Really?
Him and Junior.
I think it's a debate to have him and Junior.
I think Junior is primed for a huge regression after they move away from George Steinbrenner Field.
Okay, I think it's a debate, but I think Junior's on the ascension arc. Like, I think he's one of the top 10 third basemen right now in the game.
You know, I was thinking, I did some research, and I got to say, I apologize to you for knocking you for saying positive regression, because it is a thing.
Thank you.
It's not just improvement. Regression back to the mean versus just improvement. So I just used the word regression. There actually is a thing as positive regression. So
I'm just saying, put Junior Caminero top 8 positive regression candidate. He was good last year. Yeah, he'll be better next year. That's what I'm saying. He'll be an all-star. He'll be the all-star up for Tampa.
Tampa apparently, I don't know if that was in the Passan article, but was noted to not really going to be spending this winter.
Shed more payroll, baby. New ownership, shed more payroll. That's what we love to hear. Got to find a way to pay for that new stadium. It's like, hey, if you're you and your wife, you and your girlfriend or whatever, or partner, however you want to call it these days, whatever, what's going on. But it is what it is. You're gonna get this new house or this new apartment, but you gotta cut back with everything. Instead of going out to the nice Michelin star dinner, instead of going out and getting ice cream on ice cream date, or going out to go see Lady Gaga or Sabrina Carpenter tickets, we gotta cut back on that so you can get the new apartment and new house ready to go. And I think that's what Tampa's doing. They're cutting back on the spending, trying to get a Brandon Lau. Peter Fairbanks got the boot. They're like they're renovating and then building a new stadium. It's like, we got to renovate our current home before we put it on the market so that we can go get our new house.
I think they would have liked to play in Steinbrenner Field again, but the Yankees were probably like, nah. The Yankees were like, we can actively make one of the teams in our division have to spend more money to fix the Trop, and then now they're making the new stadium. Like, they'd rather make them do that when they could have just tore Tropicana down and played in Steinbrenner Field. The Yankees were like, nah, we're not going to have a year two.
It could be a $15 million influx of cash for House Steinbrenner. That is so anti-Steinbrenner. Like, come on, Do you need me to spend money on chicken tender buckets? Do you need me to go a weekend series and go get chicken tender buckets so we can go get some players?
Buy those chicken tender buckets. What else was in that article?
Oh, we could look. If I'm the Yankees, man, I'm very mad. Like, can you this is just so doom and gloom. I'm sorry. I'm about to put some doom and gloom into you here. It's like you're the New York Yankees and you're going to run it back with this team, and all you're going to do is bring back Cody Bellinger, and Kyle Tucker's going to walk to Toronto, and you see Seattle's getting better. You see Boston's going to be better. You see Toronto's going to be very good. And it's like, we'll just get Cody Bellinger and just run it back. I'm like, that's just so pompous and acting like so high horse, like, oh yeah, we're the big bad Yankees, and just do so. Man, I was reading that on my way to work. It came out Tuesday, and it put me in a bad mood. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be 18 years, my guy.
Everyone talks about the positional flexibility with Bellinger. And fair enough. He can play left. He can play right. He can play center in a pinch, which he won't be next year. We'll talk more about the qualifying offers a little bit later. He can play first base if you need him to. But no one's talking about the batted ball profile about Bellinger. I don't really like it. It's low. The barrel percentage, like, he doesn't hit the ball hard. His splits were much better in Yankee Stadium last year than they were on the road. He is a guy that crushes lefties as a left-handed hitter, which is a huge plus. You don't have to worry about platooning him. Hopefully that continues. But he's a player that I don't necessarily know if it ages well over the course of a long-term deal. And I think that's why teams have been so hesitant to give him that long-term commitment that he's been looking for. Like the past 3 off seasons, it's felt like Bellinger's been a free agent and he just hasn't gotten that long-term commitment. It's because I don't think he's a guy that's going to age well, because he is good, versatile defensive player. How long is that going to last? He's 30. The batted ball profile isn't there. He doesn't hit the ball hard. That's not something, you could expect the power to drop off at some point. Hit 29 home runs last year. That might be the most he hits the rest of his career, because he's playing in, Yankee Stadium, short porch. He doesn't have the splits, home road splits. I just don't know what he looks like as he ages. I think that's why teams have been hesitant to give him that long-term commitment. Whereas Tucker, he's younger. He's just a better player. The batted ball profile is better. He hits the ball hard. Last year wasn't pretty, but he was injured. Tucker's a better player. I don't understand why the Yankees aren't at least trying to get him. We really haven't heard anything linking him to the Yankees yet. It's been all Blue Jays, Dodgers. I don't know. Tucker's a better player than Bellinger. Yes, Bellinger has the defensive flexibility, but how valuable is that? Kyle Tucker can play left field for you. He can absolutely play left field. And then once in a couple of years, when Giancarlo ends up retiring and his deal runs out and Judge moves to DH, then you can put Tucker at right field, or you can play him at first base. I'm sure he could learn how to play first base. So there is positional flexibility there too with Kyle Tucker. I mean, you look at the All-Star game last year, he made a great diving catch in left field. People act like, I don't get it. I don't get it why everyone's so obsessed with Bellinger. I get it. He's a great player, but I think Tucker's better.
It's the Yankee nostalgia. His dad was a Yankee. He was part of that great Yankees team. You also have to think about, that he was a great hitter last year. My thing is, and I think Ryan Garcia on Twitter, he's one of the Yankee writers, young guy. I love his content. Said it best. The market's already told us what they think about Cody Bellinger. What I don't understand is, why are we getting this interest? It's, he is a Boris guy, and I kind of feel like this is all Boris at the end of the day in the background. Like, yeah, the Dodgers want a reunion, and the Mets have a reunion, want him. But the market has already told us 2 off seasons that nobody wants this guy. Not that nobody wants this guy, but nobody wants him at that price.
They don't want him long term.
At that price, and they didn't want him the year before. And I'm very hesitant on throwing any money to Bellinger just because of like exactly what you say. I think what we all want to see is them just to pour money like wild men, like some teams are doing, but it's just not going to happen. And I just feel very hesitant giving them the money for exactly the reasons you say. The market's already told us what they think about him. And when you look at the Yankees with Kyle Tucker, I kind of feel like they only throw the Yankees in there to like drum up interest, like the classic, just get clicks and drum up interest again in the free agents when they're really not in. It just, from all what it seems is offseason, it's going to be a very quiet offseason in the Bronx.
I do think, okay, we can go to the qualifying offer now. People are freaking out about Trent Grisham accepting the qualifying offer. And, the impact that it has on the rest of their offseason, because it's $22 million. And that takes up a big chunk of the payroll next year. They're getting closer and closer to that third luxury tax or fourth luxury tax threshold, the Cohen tax. And people are now saying they're not going to spend much. That's fair. They're probably not going to go out and sign Kyle Tucker. If the moves they make now in the rest of free agency are probably going to be Cody Bellinger and some bullpen guys. But one thing that people are refusing to factor in is the trade market. And I would argue that the trade market is a better way to acquire players in the offseason than free agency is. Outside of the Soto signing last year, which was a huge success, guy finished 3rd in MVP voting, gonna be a perennial MVP candidate. Outside of that, what was the most impactful, and you could make the argument this move was more impactful, what was the most impactful move last winter? It was the Crochet trade. Guy finished 2nd in Cy Young voting and very well could have won it.
I disagree. Max Fried. Don't forget Max Fried.
Crochet better and more impactful.
Max Fried is just as good as well.
Nah. Crochet over Fried. So
but you're forgetting Max Fried. You just can't act like Max Fried doesn't exist. You can't forget guys like Max Fried don't exist. You can't forget like those big ticket guys, Pete Alonso, Alex Bregman as well. Who else was a part of the?
Neither of those guys finished 2nd in MVP voting.
But Alex Bregman was great last season.
Healthy Alex, down the stretch.
Healthy Alex Bregman last year. If Alex Bregman is healthy for the full year, I think the Red Sox are in the division race.
My point is, everyone just wants every single winter teams to splash the cash, and fair enough, I get it. But I do think the Yankees are going to be very active in the trade market this winter, and that's where they're going to make their big move. That's where they're going to make their splash signing, you could say, because they have so much young talent in terms of arms coming up, and that's arguably the most valuable trade chip you can have is controllable young starting pitching. The Yankees have that in abundance. Sure, it's guys that maybe don't have MLB experience, but these are guys in the minor leagues, and the Yankees have proven that they've been able to develop pitchers. They have an abundance of those guys now still in the minors. LaGrange, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, Chase Hampton. You could even say Will Warren, Clark Schmidt, younger guys on the major league roster. Schmidt's obviously injured. The Yankees are. That's my prediction. The Yankees are going to make a big trade this winter. I'm not saying it's going to be Scooble, but they're going to do something via the trade market this winter. And this offseason is not all doom and gloom just because Trent Grisham accepted the qualifying offer.
Luis Heel. Don't forget about Luis Heel, king of the heel.
Yeah.
But I just want to see the lineup get some players, get some grinders in the lineup. But what do you do? Qualifying offers. The Trent Grisham thing, $22 million, kind of expects that Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones don't make opening day next year. You're just not going to carry 6 outfielders on your roster next year, essentially.
Jones is blocked.
So it's Dominguez. You can make the argument with Dominguez. GM Judge said it again. GM Judge did say it at the end of the season. Bellinger and Grisham. Those are great guys. We love those guys. We should have seen the writing on the wall. GM Judge said he wanted them back, so he got his boys back. So
it is interesting. A lot of people every year, say no one's going to accept the qualifying offer, and that's because history shows that to be true. Since it was implemented, the qualifying offer system in 2012, 157 players have been offered it. Only 18 accepted it. And this was a record 4 that accepted it this year. Trent Grisham, Brandon Woodruff, Shota Imanaga, and Gleyber Torres for $22 million. And they come out at that number, $22 million. I think it's the top 125 or 150 salaries in Major League Baseball that year. They averaged them out, and that's how it came to 22 this year. And I don't know what it means, why so many people accepted it. I think you kind of just have to look at it from a player perspective. It is interesting that Grisham accepted it. A lot of people are saying the Yankees offered him thinking that he wasn't going to accept so they could get the draft pick. And I kind of thought that at first, but I do think you wouldn't offer him that much money if you didn't think he was at least some chance of accepting it. And you also have to look at it from a Grisham perspective. It is interesting that he accepted it because the center field market is so thin this year. He would have gotten a multi-year deal. It would have been at less AAV. So maybe you just say cash in, you like playing for the Yankees, have a chance to win a World Series. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he said, I want the 22 mil. I'll take it right now.
Hey, think about it. The lockout does have something to play in effect. I do think like a lot of teams are going to be holding a little bit of money, multi-year commitments. Think about a guy like Gleyber Torres. I don't think you're going to get 22 million. I think Gleyber gets something like more of a 15 by 4 or a little bit less than that. You think about where these players could fit. So you look at Gleyber, second baseman, Kansas City. Will Kansas City be spending money? No, because Kansas City's already talking about moving Chris Buback. They're already making moves, Kansas City. So they're not a fit. Let's go to Trent Grisham. You talk about the center fielder market. What teams need a center fielder like Trent Grisham? You think about Philadelphia. You think about LA. Will they be giving up $22 million for a guy like Trent Grisham over multi-year commitment? Probably not. Shota Imanaga. Is Shota Imanaga sniffing $22 million?
Not on the open market, no.
And I think Brandon Woodruff, his deal, I don't want to say it's curious. I think that's the one you should have accepted because, he does have a limited sample size. His market's probably going to be a little bit limited in the sense that, coming off an injury, not much of, he was great when he was out there pitching, but, he's not going to get the number that he wants. And it's kind of like betting on himself, like, okay, I can get the $22 million for a year. I can put up a full season body of work, and then I can cash in next offseason. And I think that's one okay. And then, but the Shota thing, again, Shota's probably not sniffing 22. Shota's probably sniffing about 16 to 18.
I don't think any of these guys were sniffing 22. It's just about the multi-year commitment that they could have gotten. Woodruff, I said it last time, I think he was always going to accept. He's talked about how much he likes playing in Milwaukee, had some success there. And $22 million is a lot of money. And you also have to think about it next winter when these guys all go on the open market. They won't have a draft pick attached to them, which makes them a little bit more valuable in free agency. Teams don't have to worry about that. So good for that, man.
I could see Gleyber getting 22-ish, not close to that range. He probably is the closest one.
He's still pretty young. I think he's the youngest of this crop.
What's the second base market looking like money wise? I'm just thinking about numbers. It's just like
it's a weak position.
What if Kansas City calls up? What if Kansas City calls up Atlanta and they go for Ozzie Albies and they give him a starting pitcher? Because, Kansas City has arms, a lot of arms, and then you swap. I know they did that Jonathan India. I think they tendered India for a $7 million, but still, like, Albies out there at second, and you give an arm, strength for a strength.
I don't think they've officially non-tendered him yet. That's the deadline's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I could see it. I just don't know how much value Albies has right now.
But for $6 million on a 1-year deal, I think that's something you take if you're Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hit, you then extend him, and you have a middle infield of Ozzie, Bobby Witt, Pasquantino at first, and Maikel Garcia.
It's really good if Albies bounces back.
That's a really good. It's a buy low. I don't know. That's something to think about.
I could see it.
The qualifying offers is just it's interesting. It remains to be seen, but it is.
Yankees.
We also have. What's up?
Go ahead.
Go finish the Yankee point.
Well, I was just going to say the non-tender deadline is Friday. Some interesting guys that might.
Let me guess. F. Ross, Cousins, Mark Leiter Jr.
So MLB trade rumors, some notable guys: Jonah Heim, Reese McGuire, who was decent last year, Jake Berger, Nathaniel Lau, who I think already got non-tendered, Ryan Mountcastle.
Wow, Nathaniel Lau got DFA'd.
Jonathan India, Gavin Lux, Alec Boehm is on here. That would be a high-profile one. Oswaldo Cabrera, don't do it to me. That'd be cruel. JJ Bleday, he got DFA'd. Matt Vierling, Will Benson, your boy. Adolis Garcia, apparently they were trying to trade him. Christopher Morel got DFA'd. Mike Talkman, and then some of these pitchers, Alec Manoah, JP Sears, the relievers for the Yankees, Jake Bird they have on here, Jake Cousins, Camilo Doval. I would be very surprised if they don't tender him a deal. Scott Efros on here. So there could be some decent. Mark Leiter Jr., of course, is the main one. I don't think Leiter's coming back.
I think that'll be a good one. I think they can upgrade. I think there's too many blowups this season and too many just.
Yeah, he wasn't very good.
We got a trade Taylor Ward for Grayson Rodriguez. Angels traded Tyler Ward. Orioles got Grayson Rodriguez. Again, the Angels are trading for another injured player. I hope that came with the medical staff involved. Yet again, the Angels are at it again.
You don't like this trade for the Angels?
More injured players for the Angels. I mean, I hope they have a medical staff ready to go. I mean, they have Anthony Rendon. They had now Grayson Rodriguez. I mean, he missed the 2025 season with multiple arm injury, shoulder inflammation, lat strain, then another shoulder injury. I don't know, man. It's Taylor Ward. I've always been a fan of his bat, and I think like in a lineup with Baltimore, he'll be a good player to have in there and hopefully you expect them all to bounce back. I know that outfield is kind of cramped in Baltimore. I kind of expect the outfield is going to be something like Ward, O'Neill DHing, Cowser, and I forgot who, and Kerstad maybe. That's probably going to be the outfield next season.
I don't like this trade for Baltimore. I don't know what they're doing. I know Rodriguez has been injured, but when he was on, very good. Again, very rare for him to actually be playing, but he's under team control through 2029. As long as he gets healthy, this is a quality arm. He was a top prospect, highly regarded. And Mark Elias told reporters in September that he would be ready for spring training. Maybe that was a lie. Maybe he was just trying to up his trade value. I don't know. Ward, he's a pending free agent. Career high 36 home runs last year. It's a bat profile that I don't love. I don't know if it fits kind of what the Blue Jays did this year in the sense that he strikes out 26% of the time, which is in the 16th percentile. Yes, he hits home runs, but he's kind of a 3 true outcome guy. Home run, strikeout, or walk. Average defender in left field. Doesn't really make sense with the crowded outfield that they have right now. And they gave up a valuable young arm in Grayson Rodriguez. Maybe they just don't think he can ever get healthy, and that's why they moved on from him.
But that's what I'm saying. He's never healthy. Yeah. So it's just like I hope that the Angels again are making boneheaded decisions out here. Again, I don't get it from the Angels because Angels just need a full tier.
It's a buy low for the Angels. It's 1 year of Ward. That's fine. It's 1 year. Even if he goes crazy in Baltimore, he's still going to be a free agent. They're not going to re-sign him. And you get a young, controllable arm. If you can somehow keep him healthy, all of a sudden that's a top end starter in your rotation, man.
Yeah, but the Angels just don't make sense. They'll give Murakami the bank and continue not to make sense.
Angels are going to do some weird stuff this winter. Some random free agent's going to get overpaid to go.
They're always going to spend to get there. What's the worst place to go? The Angels or Pittsburgh? Take out the location.
Angels.
No, take out the location.
Right now, Angels, because the Pirates can actually win.
So you're saying the Angels are worse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I completely agree with that. I think it's easier to win the NL Central than the AL West.
Oh yeah,
it completely easier. I think you can get lucky one in the West, and I think you can get completely lucky in the Central and just have a fluke season and win and be better than the Brewers and the Cubs. You can have a fluky year. So
yeah,
I don't get it. But the Orioles are going to be spending money, and I mean, would you rather have a Michael King or a Grayson Rodriguez? Healthy Michael King is not a bad guy. Yeah, I can totally see Michael King, East Coast guy, go to Baltimore.
You know who I could randomly see? Haven't been linked yet, but you know who I could randomly see the Angels signing? Bellinger.
Yeah.
from LA. They just traded their left fielder. If he just doesn't really care about winning and wants to secure the bag, he's played in LA before, just end his career in Los Angeles playing irrelevant baseball, making a lot of money.
5 by 200, something like that.
They'd have to over like hell for him.
Yeah, let's do it. Screw it. Hey, living out there in the OC, that wouldn't be bad. He's already won before. So it's like he has an MVP, he has a title. It's like he's completed baseball. If you want to,
he's got that ring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and it's not like he went to the Yankees because he wanted to win. It was a trade. He went to the Cubs before when they weren't really in contention.
I wonder how much he really feels about it. And one thing Boris did make a really good point, and I know Boris talks a lot of baloney sometimes, is that Cody Bellinger has been highly productive in the 3 biggest markets of baseball, and that is LA, Chicago, and New York. And I mean, Chicago and Boston is the debate for 3, which I think that's debatable. Which is the 3rd biggest market?
He's from Arizona, not LA, but he just strikes me as a guy that's from LA. He feels like a Los Angeles guy. Where did he go to high school?
I think.
His father played for the Yankees and the Anaheim Angels.
Oh, confirmed. Load up the clip. 5 by 200. And we'll be like, yep, Yankees miss out on Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger. What are we doing? What's his name? Tatsuya Imami?
Imami, that would be crazy. Am I
6 years, $200 million.
Oof. For who? Angels?
No, Yankees.
Oh.
Or what if he goes to the Angels? What if the Angels just go on a run and get Murakami, Tatsuya, and Cody Bellinger? I think we would come on pod and be like,
Angels do the most just unstructured offseason ever.
I don't think the Angels can get a single Japanese player because I think they have so much bad rapport with Ohtani. I think these players know we do not want to go to Anaheim.
Yeah.
I think they already know that they've been scarred by the Ohtani. So I think they're blacklisted. I think you can get Angels gear for 50% discount at the clearance rack at the equivalent of a TJ Maxx out there in Japan.
Didn't they had Kikuchi? He was successful.
Yeah, but Kikuchi went to Seattle first. We're talking about the young boys, the young Japanese
and the next
players.
gen. There is the generational gap there. Yeah, the younger generation of Japanese players have some freaking aura, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, the Yamamoto Sapphire chain. I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, do I need $5,000 just to come down and get that blue sapphire chain?
That chain was so nice, and it wasn't in your face. It was the nice blue. No. Oof. I feel like obviously Ohtani, but Yamamoto has definitely Yamamoto has more aura than Ohtani.
He got a dog.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that means probably all the female baseball fans oh my God, Carlos. It's over. Do you imagine
his name? He named his dog Carlos?
Yeah, you imagine how lucky that dog is? He was a foster dog. He got adopted. He went from the bottom to the top. He's gonna be eating YU-A5 out of Japan, flying private. He went from definition from the bottom to the top.
Yeah. Judge had his dog during the MVP ceremony. Everyone needs a dog these days, I guess. Maybe, is it
maybe I should get a dog? That'll flip my fortune. Maybe we should get dogs.
You should.
You should too. We should do it.
I'm not a dog guy. I'm a cat guy.
You're a cat guy?
Yeah.
Since when?
Forever. I've never really been a big dog guy.
Why are all my friends cat guys?
They're chill, man. Low maintenance.
Low maintenance.
All right, let's.
So guys, we're making a GoFundMe. Get William a cat for Christmas.
I don't need a GoFundMe.
Yeah, get a GoFundMe so William can get a cat, and then we can get him the big electronic litter box that looks like a freaking washing machine.
They have those?
Have you seen those?
That's the one thing I don't like about cats. You got to keep the stench to a minimum. I've never had a pet really, so.
So guys, we already know. Get William a cat. That's the thing.
All right. Let's move on. Last topic of the day. MLB signed a new media rights deal. I love this stuff. I work in media, so I always find it interesting. Welcome to the club. Netflix and NBC and ESPN, you're back in the fold. This deal covers the 2026 through 2028 seasons. This will be 39 straight years with ESPN on the fold. Important to note that Fox, TBS, and Apple TV will continue as is. So what the hell happened? How the hell are you going to watch baseball next year? What is going on? Where do you watch what? Okay, so I'll outline all of this for you. NBC, they're paying $200 million a year. What do you watch on NBC for MLB this year? Sunday Night Baseball. First time since 1990 it's not on ESPN. Interesting to note, Sunday Night Baseball will air on Peacock and NBCSN during weeks in which there's overlap with previously negotiated media rights deals on NBC, so NFL and NBA. NBC also, they're bringing back Sunday Leadoff, which was formerly on Roku, and then Peacock before that. They have that back in the fold. They also have the Wild Card Series, which will be on NBC and Peacock. They have the MLB Draft, which is moved to Saturday of All-Star Week. They get the first hour of the draft, and then it's going to MLB Network for the rest of day one, which is weird. They have the Futures Game, which is now going to be moved to Sunday instead of Saturday. So they kind of flop the draft and the Futures Game. And they're getting a Game of the Day. I'm assuming that's going to be on Peacock. So we'll see. Netflix, they're paying $50 million a year. I love Netflix getting involved. People say it's behind a paywall. That is true. But Netflix, more people have Netflix than cable in the United States nowadays. They have 90 million users in the US, 300 million globally. What do you watch on Netflix next year? Home Run Derby, opening night exclusive, Yankees Giants this year. Special event games, which is going to be the 2026 Field of Dreams games and whatever they have in 27 and 28. And also the WBC, it'll be airing in Japan on Netflix. ESPN. We all know that MLB opted out, or ESPN opted out of their deal with ESPN with MLB last year. They opted back in for the same $550 million a year, so $1.65 billion over the next 3 years. It's the same rate as before. What do you watch on ESPN? Obviously, no more Sunday Night Baseball, but they have the national midweek game package throughout the season, so a nationally televised game maybe on Wednesday throughout the year. And importantly, maybe the biggest note of all of this, MLB TV is now going to be on the ESPN app, and this is what MLB had to relinquish its rights to in order to get that same rate, the $1.6 billion over the next 3 years. So MLB TV is moving from MLB.com over to the ESPN app. They're saying it's going to be the same as before. You can still get MLB Network as on there. If you're a T-Mobile user, you can still get MLB TV for free. And then, as I noted before, Fox, same as last year. They'll have the playoffs. They'll have their game of the week on Saturday, maybe a midweek game too. TBS will have their midweek games in the playoffs as well. Apple TV, they'll still have their Friday night showcase games, which that's probably my least favorite part of MLB media is these Apple TV games. I don't like those, but those will continue as is. So, Luis, that was a lot, but what are your thoughts on these new media rights deals?
Peacock is now the leader in sports, the worldwide leader in sports. I mean, if you're an SEC football fan, you still have to have ESPN, but I mean, you could survive just off Peacock, off NBC. I love Peacock getting involved. I'm a big fan of what NBC's done. Always been a fan of NBC's coverage of NFL. Been always love their NBA telecast now on Coast to Coast Tuesday nights on Peacock. Love their studio show with Carmelo Anthony. They got Reggie Miller as a color. Mike Tirico, they also have it. Maybe we see Mike Tirico do some baseball games in the summertime. I really do enjoy it. Always love Netflix. It's always good, I feel like you can talk about it just from a business perspective, not go too deep. It's always good getting some competitors involved into the fold. I feel like having more competition only promotes better product of presentation of the product. And so having Netflix involved, Netflix, very new to the game. Only thing they've really done sports streaming wise has been the NFL. They've been all right. It's been cool. But I do enjoy NBC getting involved. ESPN just keeps taking L's. Like I said, if you're an SEC football fan, that's the only reason you need ESPN. Other than that, you can just use the cock and have Big Ten football, NBA, and the other thing is NHL is on TNT, TBS, and
ESPN.
TNT, ESPN. But ESPN just losing money, just paying these money rights for NBA, NFL. They don't even. Well, that's crazy. If you think about it, ESPN doesn't even have rights for NFL that much. You only have Monday Night Football, and then 2 nights out of the week. Now 1 night out of the week NBA, and they only have the playoffs, and that's it.
Yeah, but they're getting a Super Bowl in a few years. That was part of the media rights deal, the recent one, which is a huge deal for ESPN. That said, SEC football is huge. That's them and the Big Ten are the biggest media rights holders in college football. I've enjoyed I don't like how biased they can be toward the SEC, but I have enjoyed their in-game commentary for ESPN, for the SEC.
I like Fowler and Herb Street.
Yeah. That said, I think NBC, I agree, is becoming like pushing it worldwide leader. Potentially. I mean,
the only one gripe I had is I wish Prime got involved. I like Prime. Prime football is pretty good, and Prime basketball is pretty
just good. Like it's so many different things you have to watch a season of Major League Baseball. All of the leagues are like this now. It's just so many different platforms. It's a little crazy. Money, gets involved in everything, but it is interesting. NBC, every single weekend, essentially, Sunday night throughout the whole calendar year now, there's some marquee sporting event happening. MLB, they have now Sunday Night Baseball. They have the NBA. They have obviously Sunday Night Football in the NFL. Like that's huge year round. And now they're bringing back NBCSN into the fold. So maybe there's more studio shows. You didn't mention they also have the Premier League, which is huge in the United States. Like they have everything now. Big Ten football. The only thing they're really missing out on, like you said, is that ESPN or the SEC college football. But NBC keeps taking wins. Their NBA package is leaps and bounds better than ESPN right now.
Their studio show is great. I love it. I do enjoy it.
They also have the Olympics. We have the Olympics coming up in Los Angeles pretty soon. What, 2028?
They have the Olympics in Milan here in February.
Olympics in Milan. I mean, they got everything. NBC is your home for sports now. It feels like.
They lost WWE. It seems like that WWE package cost ESPN a lot of money. ESPN lost UFC and MLB for WWE. So
they lost. ESPN lost UFC.
Yeah, UFC is going to Paramount Plus. It's going to CBS on 26.
And for WWE, people watch that stuff still.
Hey, it's popular, man. Hey, you know what ESPN is falling. And no offense to WWE fans, like. I was a WWE fan. I still watch it on occasion where I'm just bored and I have nothing to do at the house and I just want to laugh and just be entertained. It's entertainment. It's world wrestling entertainment is the key word.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
but
that's right.
But and then they are athletes. I'm not saying they're not athletes. Like but it was funny because I was at the gym yesterday and they have ESPN in the background. And it's like, oh, John Cena versus I don't know who the other wrestler was as a Sports Center topic, and I was like, oof. We went from highlights to just making John Cena debates.
It does feel like there's it does feel like there's real ESPN fatigue among fans now. Like people are just sick of the clickbaity, Cowboys, Lakers talk 24/7. That the first take stuff. It does feel like yes, those get clicks, but it does feel like a general consensus among fans is that people are getting sick of that. And I think a key point is. Look what NBC is doing with the NBA. They're actually talking about the games, and people have loved their coverage. And you've seen it to where ESPN is trying to get back in that mold with Tim Legler doing a lot of the in-game breakdowns that he's been doing, which is good. That's what people really want. People want to hear them talk about sports, not all of the flaming hot takes and stuff like that. I do feel like ESPN, they got up their game. Just because you have the rights doesn't mean you can put low effort into said rights and expect people to still watch it.
Low effort is what they did just getting the TNT package. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to give Shaq and Ernie. It's a winning formula, but
They haven't changed anything about their in-game presentation.
They got Perk now. They got Perk, And he's.
And how much effort are they going to put into MLB now that they don't have Sunday Night Baseball?
No,
I feel like it's going to be minimal.
Hey, it's going to be WWE and NFL talk. And NBA, that's their network now because UFC went to Paramount, and so
when does Passan's contract expire with ESPN? Is that public knowledge?
I don't even know, but NBC lost WWE in it, so it's probably a lot of funds got freed up. So it is interesting.
I'm looking up the Passan. In 2022, he signed a 4-year extension, so he might be on the market in 26. I don't know if you're Passan. I think he is the MLB guy. He's making $1 million a year at ESPN. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. He is the ESPN. He's the ESPN here. He's the MLB guy. He's our lead. He's our Woj. He's our Shams. Like, I think he should think about going somewhere that prioritizes his sport more. Is that crazy to say?
Mm-hmm. Hey, be ready for NBC, USA Network, baby.
It just feels like, ESPN's not putting any effort into baseball. It's all football and NBA now.
I'm ready to see Mike Ross and Harvey Specter come on my screen right before I get tuned into an MLB game on Sunday night.
I can't wait for NBC. They've been killing everything, so I think it's going to be great. It's a little frustrating that there's so many freaking platforms to watch now. Like, is Apple really needed? But whatever.
I mean, Apple got rid of the MLS season pass this year coming up.
Well, they didn't get rid of it. It's still going to be on Apple. You don't have to pay extra for it. You can just get it.
Yeah.
Which never made any sense to me. Why you had to have Apple TV Plus and an additional subscription for MLS? Like, bro, no one wants to watch MLS that badly.
You gotta pay for that. You gotta pay that Messi contract. Hey, don't offend some of our friends. Don't offend some of the friends of people.
I think MLS people agree with me though.
I know they would, but don't offend them. Don't offend them. Like, who the hell wants to watch MLS? It's
entertaining. If you're looking, it's maybe not the top quality, but if you're looking for just purely entertaining soccer, yeah, you can. MLS is good for that.
Below championship level soccer. So
yeah, it's getting better, but it's not there yet.
Yeah,
who's got the World Cup? Fox, right?
Yeah, Fox.
It used to be ESPN. That's another thing they lost, that was a big fumble by them. Losing, they literally lost the World Cup as soccer kind of exploded in this country. 2014 was the last one they had.
That is true. So, you got anything else for today?
I love, like you say, like I said, I'm interested in that stuff. I got nothing else. This was a fun one. I've been enjoying these off-season pods.
I as well. And that's it for today. Make sure you follow us on the YouTube, subscribe to our podcast on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, on Instagram. William's popping out reels. Substack article is not coming soon. Again, we'll keep you updated. We'll be back next week. In-person pod next week coming up.
Yes,
Sunday, maybe.
Couple ones. It's going to be fun.
What's potential special guests potentially?
Yes,
potentially?
We'll see.
Maybe we see an appearance from Armand, making an appearance, just rambling, just coming out of the screen and just saying something ridiculous.
Could do it.
Yeah. He'll probably say that he'll probably mispronounce Garrett Crochet's name wrong the whole podcast. And
Crockett. Garrett Crockett.
Yeah. So yeah, when we went to Boston and we saw a Garrett Crochet pitch, Armand had Garrett Crochet on his fantasy baseball team and he pronounced it Garrett Crockett the whole night. And we were like, dude, stop.
Certified ball knower. Alrighty. Thank you all for listening. Luis, this was a fun one. Safe travel. See you soon. And catch you guys next time. Peace out.